Alright, here we are at 4750 Waldo Road. The first entrance is bouldered. They actually took some remnants of the old bridge. We're right here at the corner of the Waldo Bridge, 5 acres, but bermed it up so that there's not trespassers. And there is another entrance or exit, right down there by the mailboxes. So I'm doing this video for informational purposes so that you can see what this property has to offer. Obviously I have my dog with me. There's some minor traffic, but Waldo Road's a pretty lightly traveled road. It accesses from O'Brien, that's the direction that I'm facing north here. It goes down to the small town community of Tequilma and then over the mountain to Happy Camp. So apple tree here at the entrance, and this is the bridge, and I'm going to pause it and restart as I walk down into the property. Okay, just passed through the berm. There's the remnants of the old Waldo Bridge that I was mentioning. And so here we are on the road. And if you'll notice, there's a couple poles here. There was a gate here at one time, so you could have that reinstalled. I have an excellent referral to a gate maker here in the Illinois Valley that also has recommendations for fencing, and his name's Charles, and I have his information should you want it. But it's a great network of people here in the Illinois Valley, and once you get to know who can provide what, you are pretty well covered, from excavators, fence builders, home builders, well drillers. Clouser is one of the main well drilling companies here, and they started in the Illinois Valley. So notice this has little roads and 2 clearings. I think, okay, so from the entrance I want to show you, you first come down this road. There's a Y. You can go down to the river to the left, but over here to the right, I'm going to walk this way because this is what's outside of the floodplain per the maps that we have. Oh gosh, scared me. I thought someone was in that sleeping bag. So this is one of the things, you know, leaving a property vacant, especially riverfront. It would make a great campground. It'd be nice if we could get someone here to oversee it. Or for some future buyer, I think it'd be a very lucrative proposition to have a private campground. So notice the soil here. It's still rocky, it's all riverbed, but this is the area that's outside of the floodplain per the map. I'm not a flood engineer. You'd want to have a flood elevation certificate performed to build a foot above the floodplain. This is the road that loops back out to where the mailboxes are that I had mentioned. I'm going to come up here. So a pile of brush here. But there's the neighbor. And I thought there was a fence line in between the two, but now that I'm looking, I don't see a fence. I thought there was. Okay. But we are up on a bluff that I really believe this is outside of the floodplain. And let's see, notice the little roads and the established trees, large trees, that tells me if there was a flood that came through, it was a long time ago. So I'm going to walk back. So I'm doing a little loop so you can see the exit. And also, this is old mining country, so all this riverbed and swells and shallows were from around the turn of the century. There was a lot of hydraulic mining, and this is downstream from the Waldo ghost town, where there was a huge gold strike back around, I think, the 1890s. Yep, so here's the bouldered exit and the mailboxes. And I'm going to pause this and we will go back and do some more. Okay, coming back a little ways, I'm going to loop back towards the river. As you can see, this road travels along the south side, but I want to go back to the river. There's lots of diversity in the foliage around here. I had started this in late spring, and if you notice, I wish I knew what I don't know if those are choke cherries, wild lilac, as you saw the fruit trees. And I'm going to pause this again. Okay, there's my car. So I just made a full loop. I am always a little nervous, you know, coming down to these rural areas. But I know there's a reason that we want to boulder the entrance, make sure nobody's moved on. And I really hope I don't run into somebody. Some nice burls. Yeah, at one time, the previous owner had lived here, you know, kind of like a off-grid campground situation. So there are bulbs planted and, like I mentioned, the burls, little camp spots. Hey, come on. There's a neighbor across the way. There's a mobile home across the river. Big cottonwoods. Maples. Evidence of where they had pulled out. There was an old mobile home here, and there's little bits and pieces of, you know, plastic. Everything's been cleaned up, but there's still little remnants on the ground. You know, there's a T-post, for example. So we're getting down to, I think those are fruit trees. Like, Banksy? It makes me nervous. Banksy, stay close. It's okay, good boy. Just makes me nervous coming down here by myself. See this big clearing? Down here is where the riverfront is. Well, there's riverfront along the whole way, but this is kind of the main area for like a picnic area. There we are, right down to the river. So you can't see the neighbor once you get down here. Well, there goes your bath. Now you're gonna smell like river. As noted in other pictures, there's a rocky outcropping upstream there, which is really cool. And then a ripple right down below. And down yonder is where the BLM is, which I've never explored. And I want to, but you see how cautious I am as it is. I basically just don't want to run into a pit bull. I'm more, oh, there's deer. Dearies across the way. I saw them. But... Hey, buddy. Not that there's pit bulls running around, but I'm always a little bit just, you know, cautious. He's precious to me. Cedar trees. So no septic, no well, no power. This is raw land. However, the septic wells in the area, or excuse me, the wells in the area have shown about 100 feet down, average 7 gallons per minute. So surprisingly, there's a good aquifer here. But look at this big clearing. Mountains in the distance. Well, it's pretty thick, so I'll have to look at my map app, but I think I'm at the edge, and I'll look next. The edge of the property line, and then beyond is the BLM. So it actually looks like I'd have to really do some bushwhacking to get back in there. So I'll look at the map app next. I'm going to show you all the cleared land and the pathways through the land, to show that you can come in here and then with a vision really see what you can do with this property. It's pretty fantastic. Okay, I'm going to stop this now. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I'm going to look at my map and see where I'm at on the property.